You know, after about 5 years of people asking me to get one of these things, I finally did it. I got a Yamaha Warrior. I actually like to call this thing the Yamaha Warrior because you're always worried that your friends might see you riding this thing. And you wouldn't want that to happen. I'm just kidding, just kidding. Let's take a closer look at this thing. This is actually one of my favorite quads of all time. I just really enjoy picking on the Warrior guys because the Warrior community is just so die-hard. It's actually a little bit scary. but these honestly are great quads. And there was a time when I was a kid when legitimately the Yamaha Warrior was the #1 quad that I wanted. I thought that, you know, CC size meant everything. And I thought a 350 was a 350. So a Yamaha Warrior 350 would be just as fast as a Banshee 350. And at the time I had, I think I had a little, I didn't even have a 90cc yet. And I really wanted this Warrior 350, man, but it was just out of reach for, you know, what we could afford here. And I certainly couldn't afford it myself as a little kid. And I mean, it's just such an iconic machine. Specifically, my favorite thing is these headlights with the cage on there. The earlier Warriors, they had like square headlights that were down here. And then later on, I'm not sure what year they did it, but they moved them up there. And the Warrior really has an iconic look. This one particularly is in really good shape. I've sort of looked it over, but not too much because you guys know I like to explore these things with you guys. But from what I've seen, this thing, it's in much nicer condition than I'm used to buying things in. Let's just look at it. We'll just start at the top here and check out the controls. You can see how clean this thing is. And I mean, I would believe that these are the original grips. Not that much time on this machine, I would guess. Look at the original handlebars, the paint on them and everything. It's got the parking brake with the actual locking mechanism and whatnot in there. Everything looks really, really good. And it's dirty, and it still looks pretty good. We come down, look at the engine. It just looks like somebody went riding and didn't wash it ever. But I don't see any frame rub here. That's a sign that we've got low hours. Even the heel guards. You know, there's not like there's a little bit back here, but they're actually in relatively good shape. The plastic parts, these are broken a lot. Those aren't broken. And the pegs are not sharp, but they're not dull either. You know, some of these older machines, you're gonna slip right off of those pegs. They're just completely wasted. Then if we come back here, we've got the, this is another iconic piece of the Yamaha Warrior. It's got the waffle print turd muffler. Just look at this thing, man. It's pretty unpleasing to look at, but it's iconic. And it says Yamaha Warrior all over it. If you come down here, the rims look really good. I see scratching on the rim, like typical stuff, but I don't see any dents. I mean, the zinc on the hubs looks really good. Even the bolt, we'll have to clean it up and see what it looks like underneath. Got the original Dunlops. I'm sure these are the originals. And the tread on them is even good. And I believe this has been stored inside, at least in a trailer. And the rubber doesn't look like it has dry rot, and it's kind of soft with the way it should be. I mean, there is a plug here. That's, you know, we'll just deal with that. But this thing has been sitting for, from what I understand, for at least a year. And the tires have held air the whole time, so they probably don't leak. Come back to this grab bar, and look at that. No wheelie rub. And I mean, it looks like it's perfectly straight. That is rare. Also, we got the original taillight on there. No cracks in it or anything, so probably not thrashed. We've got the swing arm all dirty and whatnot, but that will probably clean up. Axle, hopefully is straight. I'm sure it is, just based on the rest of the machine. Clean up the underside of these plastics and everything. It looks like got some zip ties back here on both sides. Maybe they had balloons on it or something, it looks like. So we just peel that stuff off, clip the zip ties away. This side of the engine, same thing, looks good. We'll have to make sure there's oil in it, but I didn't even check to see if there was like chain whack or anything, but all this looks really good. Another indicator here that just shows this thing is in great shape. Usually these warning labels are like chipped and cracked and peeled and stuff. These ones look really good, and I bet you if I clean them up, they're gonna look excellent. Got the little dash up here. What an iconic machine, man. Seat in very good condition. I don't see any tears. That's another iconic thing back here, man. The Yamaha logo with the silver backing and the red frame. I knew this was an 04 the moment that I looked at it. The guy didn't even know what year it was. And it is an 04, I checked it out. Got a little bit of boot rub there, but not very much. And come to the front here. Look at those little Pee-wee shocks, man. This thing, I'm sure, is not the greatest rider, but these things are absolutely bulletproof. You can see all the dirt and stuff all over these rims. So we definitely got to clean this thing off. But man, what a What a nice looking machine. We do have this little dent here, but you know, that's okay. I actually kind of like that. Yeah, so I wasn't even looking for this thing. It kind of came to me from a friend, actually Dan, the guy that bought the C7 flood damaged Corvette. A buddy of his had this sitting in a trailer, and he just said it's been sitting for like ever. They barely ever use it. Bought it way back in the day, probably around 2004 for his daughter. She barely used it, and it just sits. So he was saying he wanted to get rid of it. He knew that I was into quads and stuff, and he said it was in good shape. And I basically just said like, yeah, you know, I'll take a look at it. Went over, it was sitting in the trailer. And I mean, you can see it's in really good shape. So I decided to pick it up, and I really am not sure what plans I have for it, but I'd like to get it running and take this thing for a rip. This thing pushes pretty easily too. I'm just kidding. It's honestly, feels pretty normal. Plus, if we lube up the chain, it'll be just fine. Before we wash this thing though, let's pop the seat off, see what's going on with our air filter. And I want to get the battery on the charger. Wow, it's actually, it's pretty clean under here. Look at this. Not really any stains or anything. Oh, a missing bolt. The first fault, a missing bolt. Unbelievable, this thing is garbage. We'll have to pop this off. I'll clean it and then we'll pop that off. But the battery, even the battery looks like really mint. I wonder if it's the original. No, I see a pirate on it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Definitely aftermarket battery, that's okay. But the toolkit and even the strap, the toolkit strap, this is never here, and it's the OE Yamaha one. That is so cool, man. This thing is gonna clean up so nice. Let's get this bastard out of here. The old pirate battery. Best out there. Oh, this is interesting. Like little mini jumper cable clamps. Ugh. Resellable for sure. I'm gonna take this out of here too. Oh, look at this. It even has the little tire gauge, all the original stuff. I'm just gonna take it out of here for cleaning it. Oh, there goes one of my nets. That's all right. All right. Got me pirate battery on the charger. It says it's taking a charge. Hopefully it's still good. Now to wash this thing up, we're gonna be using a wash and wax. This one is the Meguiar's Ultimate. It is the best. You can get this shit at Walmart. It's not the cheapest, but it's not very expensive. I mean, it's Walmart. I truly believe that using a wash and wax, like a good one, over time builds up a protective layer of wax. Like you can use dish soap and it's gonna clean it off. I think a lot of people do that, but that just strips everything off and then it leaves everything completely bare. And then I think that's when you start to have like the engine oxidizing and stuff like that. Whereas if you do this over and over and over and over again, every time you wash it, it leaves that protective film behind. This is my theory, and I'm a very uneducated person, so take it with a grain of salt. But I've also got some awesome degreaser in here. This is just an unmarked spray bottle that I've got it in. This shit is amazing, man. You guys have probably seen it at the Dollar Tree. I think it's a $1.25 tree now, which is ridiculous, but it's still super cheap. This stuff is an amazing degreaser. So if you have like a really bad area that the dirt's just not coming off, I'll soak it with the degreaser. And if it's really, really bad, sometimes I'll soak it with the degreaser, let it sit for 10, 15 minutes, soak it again, let it sit for another 10, 15 minutes, and then you scrub it down with the brush. And you want to use the wash and wax when you're scrubbing it after, because this will strip everything off for sure. And then it just doesn't look great, the final finish. You want to put the wash and wax after, but this stuff will get the grease and shit off of it. For the pressure washer, I'm using this little Greenworks. It's an 1800 PSI electric pressure washer. Really easy to use. You don't have to like keep starting the gas pressure washer up and everything, and it's not very powerful. And I use the attachment that's super wide. You don't want the super concentrated one, because you don't want to jet really close to your seals and stuff anyways, because you'll inject water inside the engine, inside seals and stuff, and then your bearings and shit are going to get water in them. You just don't want to do that. But this thing is really, really good. I'll have all this stuff, if I can find it, I'll link it in the description below. All right, guys, welcome to the fight. We're here to destroy this dirt. Everybody knows that dirt's evil and nobody even likes it. So the first thing we're going to do is take the pressure washer and we're just going to wet everything down. This is going to loosen up the dirt and just get everything nice and soft so that we can crush that f***ing dirt. Once I've got everything soaked, I'm going to take the awesome degreaser and I'm going to go around and I'm going to spray especially the spots that have all the dirtiest grease, which grease is the worst kind of dirt. Absolutely hate it. We're going to spray it down. I'm actually going to use quite a bit of this bottle on this. This is the most important part, and then you want to let it sit for a good 10 minutes or so. All right, let's get started with our first victim, this back wheel. We're just gonna get in there with the brush and scrub all that freaking dirt away. Nobody likes that dirt. Just look at the dirt scrubbing around. All right, now we're gonna blast it away with the pressure washer, and oh my god, this actually looks like brand new. Now that we've got it mostly clean, we're going to take the plastics off. We don't need those anyways. They're junk. Now, unlike the dirt, we actually like the plastic, so we're going to put it face down on the grass, and that's going to prevent it from getting scratched up. If you put it on the pavement, you're going to get scratches. Now we'll just go ahead and repeat the process, but this time it'll be underneath the plastics, making sure we get all that dirt that's been hiding under there. You think we didn't know you were under there? We knew, and now you're gonna get eradicated. Then we're gonna stand her up, make sure we get the underside good and clean. Last but not least, let's get these stupid zip ties off of the grab bar and make sure that electrical tape is gone. And there you have it. There's your stupid Yamaha Warrior all cleaned up and good to go.
Dude, this quad does not disappoint. I cannot believe how clean this frame is. The only thing that really didn't clean up are the main engine cases and the cylinder. And that's probably just baked on there. But the side cover's even cleaned up really nice. Look at the frame in there, man. That cherry red looks so good. The A-arms, all the grease and stuff cleaned right off of them. These shocks, all the zinc coating looks really good. They're really fresh. Even back in here, like if I really wanted, I would take the wheels off and stuff and clean this. You could make this thing look like brand new. Like if you see in here, like there's some dirt on there that we missed and stuff, but if you look down here, the whole steering stem probably looks like that if you clean it. And like the little details, if you look at the little clips for the brake lines and stuff, all really, really nice. Even like the plastic up here, you can see it has a nice shine on it. If we look at the levers, they cleaned up. And then look at this side. Usually these buttons are faded or they just don't look this good. Look at this one, man. If it had the white filling, like right in that H in all of them, this would be like, this would have to go to a museum or something, man. Lever cleaned up, really, really nice. Tank looks really good.
show you this side of the engine. Did I already show you this side? I think so. We were moving to the other side, but the plastic on the rear reservoir, a lot of times those turn yellow. They get different. Oh, here's something. This looks pretty crappy. The chain roller, but that's an easy thing to replace. The swing arm cleaned up really nice. There's just rust back here. Probably water sat in there. But otherwise, it's really not bad. Like that could be a touch-up paint thing because the rest of it actually looks really good. The sprocket could be cleaned up a little better. That had a lot of like old chain oil and stuff on it. And the wheels, my gosh, basically brand new. I'm just shocked, man. If I took the muffler off and gave that a spray of heat paint, did a little bit of touch-up paint, it would look really good, like brand new almost. And this, it looks like somebody must have been painting around this. I see these white speckles all over, and we can take care of that later. But otherwise, it just looks so good. This is the other engine cover I wanted to show you guys. Really cleaned up, super, super nice. And again, if I spent a little more time, like I could clean in here and stuff, and this thing would look really, really good. And over here are the plastics. And man, these things, these look damn near new also. Look at the shine on them. They're nice and smooth, no big gouges or anything. Look at the black. The black, you can see the gloss a lot better. I mean, they're almost like new plastics. You can see those warning labels again. This is definitely what I would say. This is a barn find, dude, in mint condition. I knew it was gonna be nice, but I didn't think it was gonna be this nice. This is super nice. You can see those white speckles, again, on the heel guards. We'll see if we can take care of that stuff. You can see it's all over the seat too. So we'll see if we can get that stuff on. Probably after we put the plastics and stuff back on, we'll do that. And then look at the headlight housing. This is just so fresh. I'm like afraid to touch this. I don't want to break anything. Look at the plastic. This thing has been preserved in time. Amazing. Now you wouldn't think that I'd be as excited about this as I am, but I'm actually pretty excited about this, even though I'm not a Warrior guy. This is pretty freaking cool. All right, let's take a look at this air filter. We'll pop off these crappy Yamaha Phillips heads. Yamaha loves to use Phillips heads, or at least they used to. I mean, this is a 2004. And they get stripped out really easy. If this quad wasn't so original, I would switch these out for like an Allen or like a regular hex head. But because everything is so original on here, we're gonna leave them. All right, let's see what we got going on. There's no air filter. I was not anticipating that. What the hell? So that's gonna go on the order list with the missing bolt, and there's a couple rusty bolts I'm gonna replace, and the graphics. I wanna see if we can get the graphics. I can't believe that. All right, let's pop this spark plug out, see what we got going on in the cylinder. Just doing a couple, oh, it's loose. That was pretty much finger loose. So this is why we're checking this stuff. And I want to check to make sure there's oil in it too, because who knows, maybe they dropped the oil and took the filter out for some maintenance and just never put it back in. Well, it looks old. There she is. You can see nothing really concerning. It just looks old. But I think it's probably okay. All right, time to get out the bore scope. This thing is actually awesome. It's got a really long lead. And we got this little screen here that will clip on top. Which way does this go? Like that. Oh shit, we gotta lock it in place. And we'll power it on in a second. But what's so cool about this one, why I picked it out, man, this thing is freaking, I'm Butterfingers today. This thing on the side, this little wheel, when you spin it, you can turn that camera all the way around. So if you go in a cylinder, you can turn it around and look up at your valves. It's kind of creepy. It's like E.T. But the functionality is freaking great. And we can put a memory card in this thing. So I think it goes on under here. So I can actually show you guys the video, which is pretty nifty. How the f do I record on this thing? All right, we're rolling. Woo, woo, woo. All right, let's get this thing in there. The best part about this thing It's actually not that expensive. Like, relatively speaking, if you were to get a name brand like a Snap-on or something like that, they're not that expensive. So I'll have this linked in the description below. Oh, dude. So the piston's sort of at the top. But look at the cross hatching on the cylinder wall. Is that beautiful? I don't know if we're going to be able to get this in here and turn the head around because we're so close to the top. If this was a kickstart, I'd just roll it over. But really, I just wanted to look in here and make sure there wasn't, you know, who knows, maybe this thing was blown up. It looks like the original piston. You can see that 1UY. That's a Yamaha part number. I think we are good to go. I'm trying to turn it around and look at the valves a little bit. You can see that's that's our camera and the spark plug hole. We're turned all the way around. It looks like we're good. Pretty awesome. Flip around the other side. There's our valves. You can see they're original valves, or at least they're OEM. I'm sure they're original though. This looks really, really, really good. Now the battery says it took a charge, so I think we're good there. Let's get our battery laying in place. Excuse me, not just the battery, our pirate battery. I've actually seen these on Amazon. I think they're like a decent, inexpensive aftermarket battery. Hopefully it works. All right, the moment of truth. Let's see if we got power. Oh, yes. We got it. Pirate battery for the win. I want to roll this over to see if we have spark. Before I do that, I'm just going to put a little shot of oil in here. Just so that there's some lubricant, because this engine has probably been dry for a long time. Let's also check to see that there's oil in this, because I don't want to forget. That is something I would do. Getting so excited to start this thing. Oh yeah, there's oil. And it looks really clean too. Looks like brand spanking new. Nice. All right, I'm gonna take this paper towel and just kind of stick it in here. Not stuffed, but some of that WD-40 might come shooting out of there. And we're gonna spin the engine over. We should see some spark, hopefully. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, we got spark. Good strong spark too. You know, while we still got the spark plug out, since we spun the engine over, we've got it to a lower position. Oh, there's our valve. I just wanted to take a look. Oh yeah, look at the cylinder walls, dude. This thing is beautiful. Definitely, I would say, a low hour machine. Look at all that cross hatching. Put our plug back in there. Now, assuming this has good compression, the only other ingredient we need is fuel. There is a little bit of gas in there. It's honestly not that bad. There's just barely any in there. We're just gonna rock it, dude. I actually don't have any of my 93 octane gas. I'd have to run to the gas station, so let's just try it, man. I bet you it starts. Gas was in the reserve position, so I'm assuming the fuel was never shut off or anything. This is smooth, which is good. But because this was kept indoors and everything, I just have a feeling we're okay. All right, here we go. Kill switch is off. Turn the key on. Got our neutral light. It's, I think you have to pull the clutch for this. Let's give her a whirl. Oh, dude. The throttle is stuck. I felt it go up and it didn't come back. This is like the return spring is just hanging. Oh no. Well, we should probably clean the carb. Dang it. Look at that. The throttle's stuck it wide open right now. I'm actually pretty surprised. Everything else was so easy on this and in such good shape. I really didn't think that the carb would be gummed up like that. I might as well just pull this airbox out and clean it. Ooh, the fuel petcock works. Some gas just dripped out trying to take the carburetor off, and it is green. Look at the drips. You can really see, oh, there was one right there. Green. It looks like it's got like algae in it or something. Oh man, that's pretty not good. Ugh. It didn't smell that bad in the tank, but maybe this was all sitting at the bottom You can see, you see how dark that fuel is? And it has like a greenish tint to it. Not good. Well, good that we're doing this though. This definitely needs to be drained. And don't worry guys, this won't go to waste. Once I'm done draining this, I'll put this in my neighbor's BMW. I'm gonna remove this tank because I noticed that the petcock is actually leaking. So I'll pull that apart, make sure that we're all good to go in there. Probably have to rebuild it. I'll show you guys in the carburetor. It comes down real slow. Look, put it up like that and then watch. Oh, well, it's actually moving a little bit quicker now because I've done it a few times. Now, well, at least you guys got to see it one time. It was coming down like super slow the first couple times. Now it's nice and smooth, but it still needs to come off and be clean because it shouldn't be sticking at all. Good news is it says Mikuni on the side, so it's not a knockoff carburetor. That would be bad. Whew, this thing's kind of crusty. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on with our carb right off the bat. I think we've got some non-OEM parts here. These flat blade screws down here, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be Phillips. So I'll be replacing those. There's also no gas coming out of the carburetor. Usually when you take a carburetor off and you're flipping it around and stuff, gas comes out of it. So maybe something might be clogged in here. I bet you that it's green in here. If you guys could smell right now, you'd smell the poop gas. I'm gonna be gentle. We don't want to destroy any of our seals or anything. Oh yeah. Green. Telltale sign, just old stinking gas. The float is stuck. That's why there's no gas in here. If you guys can see up in there, I don't see the needle valve is, I don't believe is going up and down. So the needle valve lets the fuel into the carburetor. This thing probably would not have run. So just got to clean it up. Not a big deal. These plastic trays are freaking great for working on carburetors because you don't get gas and stuff flowing off the edge of your bench and everything. It kind of keeps everything contained. They're actually made for animal cages, but they work great for this. So I will have this link below if you guys are interested in getting it. All right, guys, I got everything torn down. Look inside this bowl, man. It's freaking gross. There's a tiny little jet in there. I removed that. And then down the bottom, everything has been removed. And the needle valve was stuck. You can see all this stuff has got like that green kind of crud on it. But made sure everything was all disassembled, and on the side of this slide, it does have like it's like a little bit of a tackiness. So that definitely needed to be cleaned. The body looks to be honestly in pretty good shape. This thing has just, it probably, you know, the guy said it was sitting for about a year. Maybe it was sitting for longer than that. I don't know. But this definitely had to be cleaned up. All right, guys, we're going to use the ultrasonic cleaner. I've got this little plastic tub in here. When you do that, you don't have to contaminate the entire container because this thing is freaking huge. So I have all of the carburetor parts inside, down at the bottom there. Take our bowl and we'll drop that in. And then the carburetor body, I think this will fit in there also. It's going to overflow a little bit, but that's okay. Whew, man, that shit is hot. I got the water like boiling hot. This thing does have a heater. We'll turn that on. And then we're going to do 69 minutes. Nice. We don't actually have to do it for that long, but I probably will because I want to have lunch. And I always have 69-minute long lunches. We're going to be using this just straight up palm olive. It's just a degreaser. This will not discolor things. I used to use the Awesome, and it does clean everything up, but it discolors the aluminum. It makes it this crappy gray color that you have to get it like vapor blasted to get the color back. So don't do that. Just use a lot of degreaser. You kind of can't use too much. I really go over the top with this. Literally, the shit is overflowing, but it's okay. That's a little bit more. That'll be good. Yeah. So we'll just pop this bad boy on. We'll come back in 69 minutes and this thing it'll probably be like brand spanking new. Legit.
I turned off the microphone for this because when you get close to the ultrasonic cleaner, it totally messes up the speaker. But I wanted to point this out. You can actually see the dirt separating from the aluminum. It's pretty satisfying to watch.
Now while that's cleaning up, I want to take this fuel petcock off. Even if it's not leaking, I think based on the condition of the fuel, this should really be cleaned also. Curious to see what the filters look like. Okay. Yeah, it's not bad. The screens look good. See what the seals look like in here. It's really not that bad. We'll just drop this in the cleaner as well. All right, 69 minutes later, and these are the results. Parts came out pretty nice. I don't think I rinsed them off quite good enough. If you look at these screws, that little buildup, I think that's like soap. But I did rinse it pretty good. I think just some of these things I didn't get quite good enough. The brass pieces, they had like corrosion and stuff on them. So what I did is I ran them under, I've got like a super soft wire wheel. It's so soft you can put your finger on it and it won't really damage your skin. But it polishes up brass really, really nice. And it's so soft that it's not going to take down the material or change anything. Because something like that needle, that has a special taper on it and everything. But all those pieces came out real nice. If there were any spots where I needed an O-ring, like right here, replace the O-ring. But for the most part, all this stuff came up pretty nice. Give you guys another look at the body here. The butterfly valve in there kind of has a weird color on it, but it's clean, and that's what matters. We got all the scum off of our slide. Oh, and here's our bowl. Look how the bowl cleaned up. Basically, like brand new. I've got a rebuild kit coming for this. I found overnight shipping, so that'll be here tomorrow. I'll be able to replace the rubber grommet in there and stuff, so that definitely, we don't want this thing leaking. And you can see the filters are good. So, didn't clean up quite as nice as the carburetor, but that'll be just fine. So I blew this out with compressed air and it's been sitting for a couple hours. It should be pretty good. Plus it's going to sit overnight because we're going to wait for the rebuild kit on the petcock. You want to make sure all the water and stuff dries out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble this thing and we'll get it on the quad. Just in time, we got our brand new pre-owned filter element. It isn't pre-owned actually though. Brand new one. There she is. It's got the metal cage in there and everything. So we're gonna put a little bit of filter oil on this. Instead of, the service manual says to use engine oil and kind of do it the traditional way, you soak it and then squeeze it out and stuff. We're gonna be using the Tusk First Line foam air filter oil. Stuff is kind of universal. We'll just shake it up and give it a good spray on the outside. And it's cool because it's blue. You don't have to go too crazy, but this stuff will stop dirt and stuff from getting in to your engine, and we don't really want that. And then we'll just smear it around, make sure that it's got good coverage on the whole filter. And we've got this end cap. To be honest with you, not 100% sure what holds this in place, but I don't know if it just, is that it? Seems sus. I can see on the underside of the lid, there's two little pieces here that hold down the end of this air filter, so I guess that is how it goes. Now we've got something that this old girl probably hasn't had in her in a very long time. And no, it's not that, but we've got some fresh 93 octane fuel in our nice and cleaned gas tank. Got that thing all cleaned out, flushed it out with some parts cleaner. We'll just put not too much fuel in here because it might be messed up. I doubt it though. I mean, we're putting a good amount in here. All right, that's good. I have confidence. Got faith in this old gal. Turn the fuel on. I got the petcock all nice and rebuilt, and I did swap out the fuel line. I saw it wasn't the original fuel line on there. This is a translucent smoke fuel line, which is my favorite one because it looks pretty OEM, but it's actually translucent, so you can see if fuel is flowing in there. And I put some new clamps on here too because he had some kind of hardware store stuff on there. So I'm gonna put it on a reserve because we didn't put that much fuel in there. See, the fuel is flowing, and hopefully we don't have any leaks. And I'm not seeing any drips. So this is good. All right, baby, here we go. Take 2, first start. Hey! And it even idles! Yeah, dude! I wonder when the last thing this thing has been started is. I didn't use choke or anything. I don't see smoke, which, well, no, it looks like no smoke, but sometimes an engine that hasn't run in a very long time, the rings will be stuck and it'll smoke for a little bit, and then once it warms up, it clears up. It even smells good. Probably because we cleaned all that old crappy gas out. I bet you it would have smelled real nice if we got it to run with that stuff in it. Sounds great. Might have to play with the idle a little bit. Throttle is nice and not sticky anymore. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I think the idle needs to be turned up just a little bit. I want to let this thing idle and let some gas run through it. Hell yeah, dude. This thing is the perfect friend quad because these things are bulletproof. It's stock quiet exhaust. Like, I mean, that doesn't really change anything, but when you get that loud exhaust on there, man, and you get a friend on there, they're like, oh, this is a race quad. That's horsepower, baby. It smells like a new quad. It smells like a fresh engine. Amazing. Gotta love it. Now I'm fixing to put those plastics back on and take a spin on this thing, but first, I want to do 2 last things. We're gonna jack up the back here, get the tires off the ground. And this chain is actually in really good shape. It's nice and tight, but it does need to be lubricated. So we're gonna go with Tusk again. With the Tusk first line. This is the way I like to do it. I mean, you can roll it on the pavement and stuff. It depends where you are. But if you have the jack and you're in the garage, this is the easiest way, man. I just throw the paper towel on the ground because otherwise it's gonna get all over the floor. And knowing me, I will step there after I move this quad and slip and completely bust my ass. So we'll just take this, and you actually wanna spray the inside of your chain because with centrifugal force, the lubricant pulls to the outside of the chain. So if you spray it on the top, a lot of times you don't get any lubricant on the inside. So you're actually supposed to spray on the inside. So we'll just spray right on in there. And wow, man, the friction is just going away. This quad is gonna be so fast. Actually, it doesn't really feel much different, but you know. And this thing, that should be good. That's quite a bit of lubricant. That's what she said. And then the other thing I want to do before we put the plastics on is take some Tusk Gloss Coat, which is like Tusk's version of SC1. And I'm just going to put a nice thin coat on the underside of the plastics because we'll never be able to get the SC1 in these areas when the plastics are on there. And this stuff does a great job of protecting surfaces and the finish of all of your parts. So you do it before you put the plastics on. And then a lot of times when you go to pressure wash, all the dirt and stuff that's underneath, if you can get the blast up there, it'll clean the dirt right off because this stuff makes it so that the dirt doesn't bind to things. You know, I'm making jokes about me slipping on the floor. This stuff gets on the floor too, and it can be kind of slick. Like, don't put this on your seat, I can tell you that much. You will slip off. Then you can kind of just go around and give it a little wipe so it's not heavy. But that does leave a nice protective film, and it glosses things up, man. This quad didn't really need to be glossed up, but... You know, SC1 is like one of those things where you can use it for good or for evil. I've noticed on Marketplace especially, when you're looking at used stuff, if it looks super extra glossy, it was probably spray bombed with SC1. And a lot of people use that to cover up a bunch of bullshit. So you can use it in a case like that for evil, to deceive people, or you can use it for good and preserve a turd like this. Anyways, we've got some grease zerks here, and I'm gonna get these real quick before we put the plastics on because I think it'll be a little bit easier while we've got all this space. Man, these were dry. You can feel they're taking the grease. I don't want to push too hard because I don't like it when it oozes out beyond the seal, but these, sometimes from the factory, these things are not lubed enough. And don't be one of those guys that doesn't wipe off the Zerks afterwards, because it's just going to attract dirt. You know, when I was a forklift technician, actually, one of the things you would look for, like if you were like a manager or you were coming in to see if somebody had serviced it previously, you're supposed to look at the grease Zerks and see if there's grease around them. But a good technician wipes the grease off anyways. Or do they? I don't know. In that industry, maybe you're supposed to leave it. I don't know. Man, this thing is looking really good. A lot better than I thought it would. Honestly, when I first brought this home, I knew it was going to be nice, but this is super nice. There's really just cosmetics left. I want to see if we can get this bumper straightened out. So let me pop it off of here. There she is. The bumper's actually in really nice shape. It's just dented in. You can see on the back side here. I think if we can press here, we can probably straighten that out pretty nice. So I was debating how to approach this situation, and I was considering bashing this into submission with the sledgehammer, and that probably would work. And then I was like, Mike, you're a professional, sort of. So we're gonna use the press. So I invested in this custom block for straightening bumpers from YamahaWarriorLovers.com. Actually, it's just a board that I found on the side of the road, and I cut it using the Sawzall. And then on top, I have this custom piece of metal to reinforce so that the press doesn't, you know, crush right into this wood. That's actually just an old edger blade. And I have it on the flat portion of the steel. So when we press this down, it should straighten the bumper out in theory. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. My goal is to not leave like marks on the back where you can see it was straightened out, at least as much as possible. I'm looking at the underside to make sure I don't want to go too far. I think that's pretty good. Hopefully it doesn't spring back, because metal sometimes does get like a little bit of a spring in it. It definitely looks better. It looks way better than it did. There's still a little bit of a bend up here. So you can see the bumper, it's curved like this. So I had it on this flat portion. I'm going to roll it. Actually, no, it was this flat portion. I'm going to roll it forward to this flat portion, and we'll see if we can straighten that out also. And I think we'll be good to go. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, I think that's pretty good. There's just a small amount of waviness in the back here that I think might just have to use the old hammer and straighten it out just a little bit more. This actually came out pretty nice. Pretty happy with that. And just let me do this, guys. I have to use the torque wrench. All right. Probably bash right into a tree stump on the very first ride and bend it right back, but looks good now. And the only other thing we have cosmetically is these speckles that are all over the quad. Like somebody was painting near this, and there's a bunch of these little speckles. So what I'm gonna use is good old lacquer thinner. This stuff is awesome, man. You can drink it. You can do a lot of stuff with it. I put some on a rag. You gotta be really careful with this though, seriously, because it can destroy things. But for this stuff, it'll take those speckles right off. I just have to be careful what I use this on. I know the seat, it's not going to hurt. There's certain plastics and stuff that lacquer thinner can mess up. So I'm going to have to take my time in doing this. But I'll be able to get all of these speckles removed. You can see right here is the spot I did. These dang speckles. If it's really stubborn, sometimes you got to get it on there and let it sit for, 10 or 15 seconds, and it'll break the paint down. But you can see it's getting the speckles off. All right, man, the seat came out really nice. Got all those speckles out. It did a really good job with the speckles, and it even took the dirt stains and stuff out, and like the staining on the silver part came right out of that. I took it easy back here because lacquer thinner will actually take that Yamaha logo right off. So I left it like that. Last thing I'm gonna do is take some Mother's VLR. It's vinyl, leather, and rubber. It's just a good protectant and conditioner, because I'm sure this isn't leather, but it's some kind of vinyl. But this is a good protector and conditioner, and it doesn't make the seat slippery, because that would be bad. Just kind of wipe this on, and then you buff it off. And plus it smells really good. So the rest of those speckles on the quad, I'm just gonna go around and carefully get rid of them. But this quad seems like it runs really well. I'm dying to take it out, make sure the gears work. It is possible that the transmission could be completely blown on this thing. Although I highly doubt that, because from what I understand, the Yamaha Warrior has like a way overbuilt transmission with super big, heavy gears. Like the transmission is just not what fails on these Yamaha Warriors, if anything. But unfortunately it is raining right now, so we're not gonna take it out right now, but we will take it to the pit and actually really ride this thing. And I've got a list here of some stuff that I wanna order. The graphics are no longer available from Yamaha, but Graphics Producer, they're the guys that print my graphics. They have a lot of reproduction graphics, and you know, they look just like the OEM ones. I talked to them, so they're gonna be working up some 04 graphics, so we'll make this thing look absolutely brand new. And then the other things I have on here, brand new spark plug, air filter, which I already got, the tank bolt that was missing up here, I actually had that in stock, so that's on there. I want to put some new grips on. I had battery with a question mark, but this battery actually tested out well. Touch-up paint for the silver stuff, there's a little bit of rust and stuff. Fuel line, already replaced that, and the chain roller. We got to replace that, and then this thing will basically be a brand new pre-owned 2004 Yamaha Warrior. So I would call this thing a huge win. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Let me know in the comments section below what you think I should do with this thing. Chances are it's going to be a flip, and I'm going to sell it, because it would be an absolute sin to tear this thing down. It doesn't need a restoration, and to make modifications and stuff, I just don't think it would be right, man. Everything is stock on this thing. Like, it's just a beautiful machine the way it is, and I think it should be preserved. I'd kind of like to see this go to somebody who's like a Warrior enthusiast, or maybe just somebody that really wants a good, reliable quad. You know, these Warriors really are bulletproof machines, man. This thing is like the essence of what I feel like a sport quad should be. Like, it's not crazy fast, but it's easy maintenance, fast enough to have fun, and they'll go through like pretty much anything. These things are just really fun quads. So I'm gonna wrap this one up here. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, and also consider subscribing for more content like this. And please leave a comment on the video. The comments are what help boost the video in performance. It tells YouTube that it's an enjoyable video and that people actually like watching my content. So if you guys are looking for a way to help out, that is the way to do it. I really appreciate anybody that does that. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace out.